Hello guys, I'm Sudarshan Koirala and welcome back to Data Science Basics. Few months back, I created the video called Kiro for Dummies and seems many people find it helpful. So if I go inside the video, you can see these are the concepts that I have covered in the video, all the way from what is Kiro, how to install, first time set up the interface, steering files, Vibe versus spec mode, by building the to-do application, what you can do and what are the steps that you can follow, the agent hooks, pricing, how to fix the problems, and the cheat sheet. And at the end, I have covered what is Kiro powers and so on. As it has been already 4 months, I created this video. Many things have changed. Instead of doing a re-record, this is the focus update. I will first briefly explain you what Kiro is all about if you are completely new to this, and then walk you through some of the slides, and later I will walk you through the UI itself so that you can see what has been changed. If you are completely new to Kiro, the Kiro is Amazon's AI code editor that plans before it codes, right? There are different ways how it does the thing. I will show you in the UI. This is the website that you are seeing in the screen. You can download in different ways in the IDE, in CLI, and so on. And here you can get all the necessary things that you need for a Kiro, including the pricing, docs, and so on. If you want to build something with Kiro, my suggestion is these videos that we create might be helpful, and it seems that it is being helpful, but I highly recommend you to follow these official documentations because things keeps changing quite frequently these days, right? Just go through this website. A link will be in the description of the video. See what you can do out of Kiro. There are also some common questions which might give you more idea about Kiro. Now I will start the presentation and then I will later walk you through the UI. What I will be covering, I just already did the Kiro recap. I will show you what the same thing is since the last video and what are the different things that change. There is multimodal support, there is permission system, hooks rebuilt, there is global hooks, and so on. There were some questions related to hooks that the hooks does not work. So maybe some tip might help you there also. And the pricing and there are new surfaces there and so on. And I will wrap up that. It will be maximum 10 to 13 minutes video, not the full 1 hour video as before, right? What is still the same? Spec-driven, that is what the selling point of Kiro is all about, right? It's planned before the coding. And the steering files, the product.md, tech.md, structure.md, this is there, right? Steering files. There are many modes there, but still the Vibe versus spec mode is still there. There is the Kiro powers, which I have also created a separate video. If you want to watch, there is this Kiro powers, which is around 40 minutes video. You might get helpful tips from there. And there is this Windows ARM and Windows CLI. It's still unsupported there. There is this 5 UI zones that I mentioned in my previous video, and the keyboard shortcuts are still there. If you are confused with what 5 UI zones is all about, I have explained these. I will show you in the UI also the activity bar, sidebar, code editor, and then the chat panel and the status bar. There are 5 different zones in the Kiro IDE. So yeah, what has changed? The change number 1 is that now it is multimodal support. When I created the video, only used to run in the Claude, right? That is not the case anymore. You can see that before there was just the Claude only model family available, but now there is Claude, GPT 5.6, DeepSeek, MiniMax, Qwen, and this keeps on adding as I speak. Maybe there might be more models when you watch this video and then you go to this Kiro IDE, right? You can see that not all consumes the same credits. There are different models which you can use based on your use case. Some simple task up to 40 times cheaper with the right model is also the case. You can use different models for different use cases by doing some research on top of it, right? Now, change number 2 is the permission system. The old behavior is you allow the cell integration once Kiro can do anything after that. No pre-action approval was needed. If you are new and just started, you might not know the old behavior, but that was what it was when it was initially started. Now what happens is Kiro wants to write to a file. It will ask you allow, always allow or deny. I will show you this in the example. And then that is saved so that in the future when it kicks in the same command, then it will not ask you again. That is how it works. The rule is saved, is scoped by the workspace, right? If you just do the deny, then it protects the secrets. You can deny those .env reads, and you can always allow, for example, this npm asterisk, it saves time. It's up to you how you want to set that up. And now the change number 3 is if you copied my old hook example, they are broken until migrated, meaning that in the old there is this .kiro.hook.file auto format, but now in the new version 1 there is this .kiro hooks, and inside it there is this pre-tool use, post-tool use, and so on. The new capability is also there called the global hooks, right? There is in the root folder, there is .kiro and hooks your machine and not one project, meaning that you can open multiple projects and it will go into the one hooks that is needed. It might be helpful because you might have some custom company power example. You might need to use the same hook for multiple different projects. You don't need to necessarily create in each and every one of those. But one caveat is sometimes the hooks does not automatically trigger. In that case, I recommend you to fall back to the project level hooks, but the global hooks must work. In case it does not, then you can fall back to the project level. That is just my suggestion, but it should work with the global hooks. Now the change number 4 is also the pricing model with the new surfaces. So the change number 4 is the pricing. Right now there are different pricing tier being added. The free 50 credit is still there. There is Pro, Pro Plus, Pro Max, Power, and so on. Right? You can see based on the user needs, they have been providing the different tier there. And one additional thing is also that you can add on the credit packs also, $5 to $100 by when you choose, rolls over 12 months. That is also another option that was being provided. Apart from this, there are also the 2 brand new ways to use Kiro now, and that is Kiro for iOS, and there is the Kiro Wave also, and there is even Kiro CLI. I haven't created the videos about this before, but if you want me to create these videos in these topics also about Kiro Wave, there is Kiro Crew also now, and then there is this Kiro CLI. Let me know in the comment section. I will put that in my to-do list, create the video about those topics also. Okay, so these are the 4 changes that I want to show you. But now let's go into the IDE. I have already opened the Kiro IDE and opened the dummy project here, that is open code skills, just to demonstrate how the UI looks like. If you install this quite earlier, install the latest version so that the latest version of the Kiro pops up here. Because if you don't update it, you might still see the previous one, and that will be same as what I created the first video. Here the 5 zones that I mentioned was on the left. You can see this bar here. If you click, then it opens another bar here. That is second one. There's the code you write here. This is the bar where you can see different modes are here. And down here, this is this live activity bar, which has this Kiro uses on all sorts of things down there, right? This is just the 5 zones that I mentioned you. Let's first go with the hooks. On the left side, you can see there is this Kiro icon here, and there is this Kiro powers. But let's go with the Kiro. And now here you can see inside the hooks, you can create the new hooks here. If I click this one, you can create a new hook, or you can describe a hook using the natural language with the help of AI. I'm not going to do it again, but this is how it looks like. And there is this steering, agent steering, and the skills also. You can just go here and see the global one that is already being popped up here. Click this plus icon, and then you can see different ways you can add the steering and skill. Take one of these example and proceed further. It has been quite easier also the UI wise to follow. There is MCP servers. You can go here and add the MCP servers. There is this spec mode. You can create a new spec. Specs are the structured way to build features, so you can plan before building, right? You can type enter to confirm and skip to cancel. It will create the spec for us. That is on the left side. And on the right side, the one change that I mentioned you is the model selection, right? If I go here, you can see there is this auto, and here you can see lots of models being shown here and the credit that it might consume. You can choose the model from here, or you can also go here and choose the different modes. Here you can see start with the workflow optional here, spec, plan, bug fix, and then there is this quick spec also. You can just try with a different one. But if you just go here and click this plan, you can see here this is activated. It just underlines there, and we know that that is being activated. Another thing what you can even do now is have this autopilot mode on, so that everything goes smoothly. Recommend you not to go with the autopilot unless you are quite sure what you are planning to do. But I will first go without the autopilot and see how it works. And based on the task, you can just trigger or turn on and off the autopilot mode here. And other than that, you can see here now this context uses and so on. It was also there before, but better now. This is one way, and maybe I will just go with the default mode here now. Another one, before I go, asks about deny, allow things. If you go to this icon here, which I'm already logged in, right? Here you will see the credits and so on. You can add the credits, but if you want to upgrade the plan, you can just go to this upgrade plan. I have already logged in, but for you, it might ask you to logged in inside it. You can see your current plan, agent hooks, MCP, agent steering, and so on. Down here, there are different ways how you can upgrade to a different tier of Kiro. Also here you can see there is this help and documentation section. Well, when I click it, it takes me up. But this is the documentation and billing support and so on. I think there is some bug here that when I click this, it is just taking me on the top of the page. But yeah, this is how it looks like. Okay, now I will show you the allow, deny this permissions part. I want to install npm. Let's see what happens, right? I am in the default mode, and here it says, okay, npm comes bundled with Node.js, and there are different ways how you want to do it. Now it is asking me how I want to do it. I will just say, okay, go with call, for example. And now when I say this one, it will ask me, okay, you should use the version this. I will say, can you run it for me? Now let's see what happens. Once it uses the command, now you can see it asks my approval. Your approval is required to continue. This is the command that it is going to run. I can say allow here. I can say always allow. I can say deny, always deny. But if I say always allow, let's see what happens here. It says now, okay, so this is the pattern that I have here. Call asterisk. You can say just this command or call asterisk. If you are confident that, okay, this is the command that you want, call asterisk is fine. I can just go with this particular command. If there is this particular command in the future, then always allow. You can just say always allow. And now again, it says your approval is required. So that is being saved there. And I will say just allow for now, and now it will go and work. This will be quite handy because it is saved on under the hood, and next time when you ask, well, it failed, I don't need to go here and run it again, but I'm just pointing you that this is how it is being set up here. One last thing, the newest update about this agent focus, right? You can see on the top, if you want to have this focus section, you can just click this agent focus, and now you can see this is in experimental mode, and all the past chat sessions will be appearing here, and there is this cloud sessions in the preview also appearing here. And now you can see, you can just go here and just go to your particular sessions. You can go here and say, okay, new new session here, or you can just go here into and then go into the new sessions. This is the new way they have provided this agent focus. You can cancel this and go back to the main again. I think this is all I wanted to show you in this updated video. If you are completely new, I highly recommend you go to this earlier video that I have created about Kiro for Dummies. Most of the things are still relevant there, but the main recommendation is to update the Kiro IDE, because new changes are pushed quite frequently and you need to update those changes as it progresses. That's all I wanted to show you in this video. I hope you find something new from the existing Kiro for Dummies. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.